Hello, everyone. I'm Christina, and today we're going to have a prophecy update because some things that people said a long time ago, 20, 30 years ago, ooh, it's really starting to come true and become clear. And it's like, what? So, thought I'd come on here for a little while because I'm a little less feverish than I have been the last couple of days. But I've been flushing with, water and tea. So now my kidneys hurt too. But we're good. We're good. I'm comfortable. I hope you are too. Hello, Adrian, Nancy, and Debbie, and Robin. So very happy to see all of you here today. So y'all want to find out what's up? Well, let's get straight to it. All right. All right. Um, First of all, if you might remember Ken Peters, he saw the tribulation. He is well known for having testified about that. And I did a live not long ago about how Ken Peters had gotten the hand scanners right, even the shape of the hand on these scanners. He also correctly predicted hot dog shaped cameras on traffic lights. A lot of them are still there. Tracking bands on dollar bills, that happened. Hand shaped hand scanners, which we talked about, and electronics like TV and phones that can watch you. All right. Now, another one of his visions, interestingly enough, was that at some point in America that you will have to have a paper check before crossing state lines. Okay? So when you think about the fact that Texas is now putting up razor wire between New Mexico, not Mexico, New Mexico and Texas, because it's trying to deter illegal, dangerous immigrants, sleepers, things like that, right? And there's a lot of hoo ha about it now. But now that the Israel Hamas war has been going on, suddenly there's a huge changing sweep in the minds of people about our border security, and they want it. They want it. It's just that every little change, it comes with resistance. And of course, I get it. I mean, in America, you would never think that you'd be having to show, yes, I'm from Texas and I'm looking to cross New Mexico to get to Arizona. You wouldn't think that. But it looks like it's starting to come into play now, right? Hello, Amanda and Hipsy Gypsy. Right, everybody's coming in. It's a good deal, good deal. Okay, back to the notes. All right. Where did my notes go? There they are. Okay, so remember that he had some future predictions too. There was three of them I went ahead and wrote down. That eventually there will be constant TV propaganda for the new world order for an envisioned globe of peace. There will be increase in persecution when people begin to turn to God, and an identification mark that starts voluntarily. That's coming. Okay, now a lot of you might have already seen that, but I was really focusing on this border issue and the razor wire because it ties into what I think Shane Warren was saying too, right? And he had talked about that at some point that people would start protesting in the streets about how they wanted their entitlements, and entitlements would include social security, those benefits that the government usually gives. And we've also noticed immigration issues at the same time. We've also noticed immigration issues when it comes to people wanting to be elected into office, which is a lot of the reason we felt like they were letting them come over. I mean, I personally was like, what are they trying to replace the United States population with others? I mean, that might be more Anyway, sorry, I just kind of grateful. They'd be grateful. They'd be happy. They wouldn't maybe fight as much as an American would. You know what I'm saying? But then you read this article, and it starts. I mean, this was published October 24th. What's today? The 24th. Now, it seems to tie everything together. It's by Fox News. Population rate decline in the U.S. triggers economic alarms from experts, calamitous effect. And you might think that all of these things aren't related, but this article actually ties everything together, which is why in the title I said this very day. It's becoming clear, basically. It's related to the immigration. It's related to the economy. You'll see. Let's read. Falling fertility rates in the United States will trigger a calamitous effect on the economy if it hasn't already. Now, this isn't the same as birthing. This is fertility, meaning somehow lately, I don't know how, a lot of people lost their ability to have babies. It's a fertility issue, not the wish thing, right? That's the very first sentence, and it says if it hasn't already started. Okay, according to CDC data, between 2007 and 2022, the U.S. birth rate fell by 22%. Not a single state reported an increase in birth rates, although some experienced a slower decline than others. People coming over the border were not expected to take that shot. Like the Americans that were here were being lobbied to do. The U.S. birth rate is steeply, not a little decline, a steep decline, mimicking the patterns of other developed nations worldwide. So it's not just in America. How did this happen globally? I couldn't imagine. Anyway, causing the global population to stop growing sometime this century. The U.S. and other developed nations dropped below the replacement rate in recent years, meaning we are not producing enough children to maintain the population, much less grow it. We're not producing enough children to maintain the population, much less grow it. Today, 3/4 of U.S. countries and a half of the states have deaths outpacing births. 3/4 of U.S. counties, deaths are outpacing births. Institute for Family Studies senior fellow Brad Wilcox said that we may already be seeing the effects. Effects? What effects? Below replacement fertility means closing schools, shrinking college enrollments, fewer workers and consumers, and not enough taxes to pay for what? Entitlements. Not enough money to pay for entitlements. We're already seeing low fertility fallout hitting schools and colleges, but it will have big consequences for the economy as well, given that there will be relatively fewer workers and consumers and less entrepreneurial activity as the population of young adults in America falls across much of the nation. Democratic Intelligence Chief Information Officer Lyman Stone added that declining and delayed marriage rates also contribute to falling birth rates. Now, I know that my own kids don't want, there's two of them, they are full-on adults. They can have boyfriends, girlfriends, wives, and babies at any time, but they refuse to even get in any kind of relationship because they don't want to raise their kids in what they know is a rapidly dangerous and changing world. That they'd rather wait or not have kids at all than have them in this environment. That would be part of it. But that's not what this article was saying. It said fertility rates are declining. How does that naturally happen? It doesn't. unless there's something wrong with the environment, right? That's usually the case. I think Aaron Brockovich had cases like that. Something is usually wrong if you have an entire group, large groups, many groups of people. There's going to be something going on there that is not natural. Okay. So it's going to lead to a decline, even bigger decline in the economy, which means the taxes won't be coming in, which means your entitlements eventually won't be coming in. And I have a question for it's a rhetorical one, but it's something to chew on. It's like, how is it that our government keeps fighting to stay open every 45 days because they don't have the money to run anything, but they can send these billions and millions of dollars everywhere to support what's going on? And somehow, eventually, it's going to lead to you're out. They're going to stay comfy. They've got bunkers that can last them 100 years worth of food and everything or more. It's a trust fund and politicians stole from it and declared it an entitlement. But yeah, you're right, Debbie. Everything's been looted and ransacked, diverted from you. Now they expect us to pay $600,000 for basically a small trailer home on a piece of land you have to rent. That's ridiculous. People shouldn't have to settle for tiny homes. I got one because I was sick and it's too hard to maintain a bigger house for me. I can't do that. But for a whole society to have to find free because this is all they can afford, and they're smart, they're capable, they've got degrees, they've got years of experience. They shouldn't be having to live in homes like this. The interest rates are ridiculous. The taxes are ridiculous. We're just being sucked dry. Okay? And they wonder why people are passing away. Well, it happens naturally. It happens unnaturally. But you're having things now adding into it: war, pestilence, like just yesterday, Louisiana, like on Lake Pontchartrain. I have crossed that bridge many times to see my grandmother and my Aunt Penny back when I was very young, when they lived out that way. Metairie and Mandeville, you had to cross that bridge. So I knew extremely well. I can still hear the da-dum, da-dum, da-dum as you're going across the bridge with your wheels just for 24, 25 miles. I can still hear it in my head to this day. 158 cars piling up. Now, last I saw, they had 7 deaths, but they were expecting there might be more. And taxes are killing us. We've got, even myself, I haven't been able to afford much of this time to eat more than 1 or 2 meals a day because I just don't have the money. I can go to the grocery store and get this much food for $90, $100, sometimes even more than that. Died suddenly documentary, right? I told y'all we have a bottleneck in population coming, and it's actually already started. And this article proves, yes, deaths are now outpacing births. That's going to cause a lot of shifts. It still matches up to the 4 horsemen. It still does. War, pestilence, famine, economic issues. It's all plays right into that. But you have to wonder, why would the deaths increase and the fertility rates decrease at the same time? Worldwide, right? But it still goes back to those 2 little parts of those prophecies that Shane Warren and Ken Peters had. Ken Peters is like step by step, everything he's saying is coming true. And same with Shane Warren. He also talked about how there would suddenly be on the news about a peace deal. A peace deal had been reached. He talked about, disaster around that time in the United States. So we're steaming forward. Now, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up by letting you know that tonight, Brother Paul from Off Grid Desert Farming and Pastor Anthony from Daily Excellence and I are supposed to do a live tonight on the millennial reign. And it'll be 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern, if I'm not mistaken. Links are in the description box. If you're feeling generous, please donate. The links are in the description box for that too. And I'm hoping that I will get to see you all tonight on Daily Excellence. I love you. God bless you. And I will be talking to you soon, God willing. Bye.